Okay. First thing about marketing is remember marketing is not just advertising. Okay, so if you write me an advertising plan, you'll get an F. Okay, marketing is a lot more. You'll get an F for that section. Marketing is a lot more than that, right? Okay, it has a lot more to do. Some of you won't do much advertising. Okay, just the way the nature of your business is. Jason, I don't know that you're going to do a lot of advertising, you know. Okay, but maybe. Okay, some of you will do all kinds of weird, different types of advertising. Okay, or marketing or publicity or different things like that, right? So it really is going to depend on your business. The thing that I haven't seen a lot, and partly because it's new, that I'm looking forward to getting from you guys, hint, hint, is a little more information on social media and using those means for marketing. Okay, I'm going to be the first to tell you I don't have a fogging clue about social media. Okay, I don't have a smartphone. I don't get on Facebook. I have no idea what Snapchat is, though my son tells me he uses it. Twitter is something the president does a lot of. I hear about that in the news. Am I missing any?
There's a lot of stuff.
Huh?
Instagram.
What's Instagram?
Because
It's
no, it's not. Instagram is the best.
okay.
Best form of social.
So I'm completely naive when it comes to that stuff, but I'm still your banker, right? You're going to need to educate me a little bit and how you're going to use that maybe in your particular business, right? How you're going to use that in order to, attract other customers, obviously not me, right? So guess what? You guys got this wide gamut. Some of you, depending on your business, right? If you're a brewery, you definitely want to attract me, right? Because I like to drink beer and I'm the right age group and the right demographic, okay? And I don't do social media. Now, a lot of my buddies do. I mean, they do Facebook, I think. They do weird things on their phone. I know that. Maybe they're just checking the weather and the stock market report. I don't know. But, okay. So you guys got to kind of cross those boundaries. And that's when it comes to the advertising portion. We still got some marketing stuff. So, okay. Don't break out in a cold sweat. We got some pretty good templates for you to use. A pretty good template for you to use. Here's a link, and it's a different template. What this one is, it's a different template. Okay, I have this one available. It's for whatever at this site you can't copy and paste it, but I have it typed out. And so if you wanted to take a look at this template, it's another one that you could use. A SWOT analysis is something that you may do. Here's what I'm going to tell you is that you could do either or. Okay. Which one do I prefer? I like Porter's 5 Forces. I've told you guys I like Michael Porter. He's the guru of strategy. I mean, he's recognized as kind of the guru of strategy in the United States. He teaches it at Harvard, on and on and on. But he would tell you it's not unlike a SWOT analysis. You do Porter's 5 Forces, and what it does is it compares your company. I shouldn't say it compares. It talks about the 5 forces. I don't know if I can remember them off the top of my head right now. Barriers to entry, barriers to exit, I believe. Substitutions. A lot of you are going to have to talk about substitutions maybe. What are some things that they could do that you might not think of otherwise, right? Okay, so I'll give you substitutions that are going on in the real world right now, right? Up until 4 years ago, everybody had cable TV, dish, or direct, right? What do they have now? What do you guys? How many of you guys have cable TV, dish, or direct? That's more than I thought. Okay, really. But the rest of you have like Netflix and those kinds of things, right? Hulu, Amazon. Okay, so substitutions have really come into play there. Okay, it's not TV. It's something that's a little bit different, but it gives you a choice, right? And so there are substitutions that are available. And so you got to think about if your business, the brewery, I'm not picking on the brewery, but what substitutions there? Regular bar, okay. Other types of booze would be substitutions. You can buy it at the grocery store. Yep, drink at home. Then you don't have to, then you don't get caught for driving, drinking and driving. Okay?
He really doesn't like wine.
Something, oh, is that it? Okay. So you'll come up with your company philosophy, your culture. You'll write a mission statement. Okay. Everybody in here, every plan, you have to have a mission statement. Okay. So what are you trying to accomplish, right? Are you trying to generate traffic? Or are you trying to name recognition? Are you introducing a new product or service? And again, it might depend. Different types of businesses are going to have different types of needs when it comes to that, right? Okay. So define your product or service. Now, this one says in detail. I'll tell you that we're going to do a business description, and in that you may describe your product in even more detail there. Okay. First time maybe that I'll say this, but you're going to have some overlap. There's going to be some redundancy between parts of your plan because you're going to describe your product or service here, and then when you get to the business description, you're going to describe it again using different words, obviously. So there's going to be some overlap. Okay. Your market entry strategy. What are you going to do to get your doors open and get people to know and understand who you are and that you're there? Those types of things, unless you're an existing business. People fail to assess the competition. Okay? And again, assessing the competition isn't just the, do we have, see, you guys are doing the wine tasting one, right? Do we have other things like that in Havre? No. But are there substitutes? Regular bars, of course. Oh, that's right. Yep, Hole 19 or whatever. It's not called that. It's called something like that. It's the 19th something. Vine 19, thank you. Yep. Okay. How many are there? What's your personal observations about them? Okay. How are you going to track them? Okay. How they're doing? Are you going to go out and competitively shop them? You're going to go out? Yeah, you might. Yours is tough, right? To competitively shop another mechanic would be difficult. Okay. But you might talk to some of their customers.
Bring that stuff to them and have them fix it.
There you go. Might be, yeah. You got to have a target market, okay? Nobody in here can say your target market's everybody. It's not, okay? It's not everybody, okay? Corey, you can't be everybody. Why? You can't be everybody. Why? Because people under the age of 16 can't drive, right? Okay, and that doesn't mean you're everybody else because people over the age of 70 don't drive that much, right? Okay, other people work on their own cars. Other people take it right to the dealership, and so you got to have a target market, right? And your guys is going to be people of age. But there's also, beer drinkers are a pretty defined market. I think generally the biggest market's males. Probably in the 30 to 55 age group, in that neighborhood. I may be off a little bit, okay, but they're going to be your primary beer drinkers. Wine is maybe going to be something a little different. Probably more the female side of things, I would guess, other than the wives are always dragging their husbands along, partake of that stuff. I don't know why, but some of them have to, so, okay. So you got to define those things, right? Are you going to be hitting a niche market? Do you know? You guys probably. You guys for sure. I mean, you're going to be hitting a niche market for darn sure, right? Okay. Brewery, I don't know. While you're going to have a definite target market, I don't know if I'd call it a niche market because it's pretty broadly accepted. So, let's see. Josie, you wouldn't be a niche. You might be, Tana. Because you're going to appeal to people going through maybe certain eventful times in their lives would be your biggest market, I would think. Linwood, nah. Yours isn't a niche, that's for darn sure, because everybody likes donuts. Except for, you could say it's cops, right? Because of all the old jokes about cops being the ones that like donuts. So we got to define their age, their gender, income level, marital status, the geographic area that we're serving. Okay, and that might be primary and secondary. Okay, that might be primary, second, might be tertiary, it's third level. Okay, because your primary might be Havre, your secondary maybe it's the surrounding area. Tertiary might include travelers, right? Vacationers, people coming through on Highway 2, you know, going to Glacier National Park. Although the road's closed up there, it was closed as of yesterday. I don't know if it still is, but they still might be heading up. Is it still closed?
Yeah,
Wow. Train still not going?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. My buddy's probably home drunk if the trains aren't going because he's train crew, so he's probably stuck. He might be stuck over there. Who knows? If he is, he's definitely drunk. Okay, determine the best way to get there, right? What are the resources you're going to use? Okay, internet's great. Bear Paw Development. Anybody been to talk to Joe yet? Not yet? Okay. Great resource. You know, he'll fill you in on a lot of this stuff. Maybe the library. You can look up demographic information. Type in ePodunk. Really, that's a word. ePodunk. EPODUNK.com. And you'll find out a little bit of demographic information about any town you choose. Okay? Or community or county, I think. It breaks it down. So I think it's still up there. I haven't checked since not last semester, but the semester before. It's there, yeah. Okay. Type in Havre or type in a zip code, I think, or whatever, and it brings you up information. It's kind of cool, right? Okay. The Census Bureau gives pretty good information about, you know, what do I mean when I say that? Well, you need to know if your target market's 30 to 55 males, how many of them live in the Havre area? How many live in the surrounding area, right? Yeah, need to know those things. Need to know the whole populations of our area, right? What's the population of Havre? What's the population of Hill County? What's the population of Rocky Boy? What's the population of Fort Belknap? What's the population of Chinook and Harlem? Okay. Because they might represent parts of your market if you're looking at the Havre area. Again, some of your businesses aren't going to be in Havre, but it would be the same regarding those things. Psychographics, I don't know if we'll get into psychographics a lot. People's psychological reasons for purchasing products, maybe. I mean, some of you might be able to find some research and whatnot on that. I don't know. You have to look. You know, Corey's is more of a necessity. Wine, maybe. Yoga, yeah. You know, you might find some info on that. I don't know. Okay, you can do some looking. There's strategy for each goal that you're trying to reach, right? What are the tactics that you're going to employ? This might be some of the advertising and/or publicity and/or social media and/or other things that you might use there, right? And the vehicles, same thing. This is definitely not up to date, right? Because it doesn't have things in there like the social media, which should be really, I would think, very vital anymore. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys get marketing, advertising information from social media that you use, or do you just ignore it all?
If you scroll through a lot of things, there's like sponsored ads that you can see.
Yeah, yeah,
When on Facebook, they can tell that you've looked at because it's actually in your news feed.
right,
Things
right.
that you're interested in.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I've seen local businesses, even if I'm searching some weird thing, and it'll pop up on the internet. So internet, I kind of just bypass the internet itself, you know, advertising through Google and whatnot. And I have had some students, when I said I haven't had much, I have had some students put in information about Google advertising. It's not that expensive, I guess, or Bing. I use Bing probably more than Google.
It's free, from what I understand, and you just pay to be higher on the list.
Gotcha.
So if you wanted to be first, you'd have to pay a pretty penny, but if you just wanted to put yourself on there, you'd just be at the.
I'm wondering about the ones, though, that, yeah, if I'm searching another site or looking at, the news sites I go to is Drudge Report, and every now and then I'll click on Drudge Report, and here's a local ad, somebody I know. Whoa, that's kind of interesting, I don't know how all that stuff works. I don't have a clue,
Only
but,
if you don't pay to advertise, then you're gonna be on the very last pages of Google
right,
when you
right.
look on there.
But if you
Unless
pay,
you specifically look for that place itself.
gotcha. And don't some of them charge like on a per click too? If somebody actually clicks your ad, you have to pay Google a little bit or something?
I think
Not
a lot of
necessarily.
it has to do with traffic. Some of them are per click, but like YouTube,
Yeah,
they pay you for once you get so many views on there,
I got to be getting close. Because all the videos that I do for classes, I'm up to 70, last time I looked, 7,700 views.
Man.
I'm thinking I'll be a millionaire here pretty quick. They're going to be getting a hold of me, wanting to advertise on my, yeah. Never mind that I have a captive audience, kind of, so. Strategy, right? So you're going to have to talk to me about what your strategy is. And what are the two main strategies, Tyler?
Two main strategies.
Yep. Think about your other class. What are the two main strategies? You can either be a differentiator or well, and his team didn't take first place this time, so that's why he's struggling. But differentiator or low-cost provider are the two basic strategies. Okay. Now, that busts off a little bit from there. Sometimes you might be a niche differentiator, right? Tana, you're going to be a differentiator, okay? You're differentiating, you're offering a little bit of a niche differentiating. I can tell you that, okay? You need to explain that to me and tell me why and do all those things, right? Okay, so you guys got to tell me what your strategy is going to be, okay? You guys are differentiators, right? You guys definitely, okay? Yeah, no question about it, okay? Most small businesses are differentiators, okay? It's really, really difficult to become a low-cost provider. That's not to say that it can't happen, but it's difficult to enter a market as a low-cost provider. Okay? It's just tough to do that. This talks about key messages. Okay? This, again, might come back to your mission a little bit. Tactics, what are some tactics that you might do? There might be some free stuff that you can do, right? Okay? Could be important. You guys might do a free tasting night or something, get some folks out. It's going to cost you money, but free to the customer, right? Example, this kind of gives you an example. Okay, issue a press release, do those types of things. Our paper is very good, our newspaper is, but there's other ways you can do that too about announcing an opening of a business. Facebook can do that, on and on. So, okay. Budget, okay. This is where some of you might go back and relook at your budget and say, oh my God, I budgeted too little, okay. That's probably, if you looked at the reasons, or I should say, if you looked at business plans in general, the number one fault in just about every business plan, not every, but the vast majority of them is not budgeting enough for marketing and advertising and those types of things. It's a lot more expensive than what people realize. Just to run a quarter. If you thought about running a quarter-page ad in a newspaper, any idea? A few $100. Okay, that's one.
Depends on how long it is.
Yeah, depends on how long you're going to run it, but probably just one. If you run it just one edition of a newspaper, it's probably a few $100s. Okay, it's going to be just in one day, a few $100, boom. There goes most of your guys' marketing budgets, right? Okay, radio's really expensive. Okay, radio's really expensive. Other things are expensive as well, so you got to be kind of realistic. You got to prioritize that. Set some deadlines. Start small. Big deal. Okay. The thing we didn't talk about here, I had a person come in my office the other day. She's going to work on a project for, I think it's BPA or something, but we were talking about her project was maybe to do a restaurant, and she's talking about it, and she goes, I'd like to do a variety thing. She'd have like 10 regular things on the menu, but then every few months she would just change it up and you'd get this completely new menu other than the 10 basic things that would always stay on there. So you might have Thai, you might have Korean, and she kind of was focusing on the Asian side of things and going through that, and that's interesting. I said, what Havre really needs is a doggone sports bar. So we don't have a good sports bar, And so we were really having this good conversation about it. And I said, what this really points to is that neither one of us knows what the public wants, okay? Neither you don't know and I don't know what the public would want or what we would want to go see, right? Okay, I might like a sports bar, and I think that'd be kind of cool, but I'm not going to be dragging my wife to the sports bar very often because she probably doesn't care. I mean, every now and then she might come along with me, right? But not too often, you know. She might drag my butt to a restaurant that's serving some kind of fancy Asian cuisine too, but I don't know how often that's going to happen unless they have good beer. Okay? And so what's the key? You got to figure that out, right? And you should try to figure that out ahead of time, you know. So we talked about focus group or possibly surveys. Okay? Can you guys do a focus group? Yeah. Could you do surveys? Sure. Right? About what types of things people may or may not be interested in. Okay? I know that sounds like a little bit of work, but setting up surveys actually online right now isn't all that tough. I think you can go to SurveyMonkey and do it for free. Okay? Basic surveys. You know, would you be interested in this or that or the other thing? Okay? You can do a paper survey, print it off and give it to, give it to people you know, right? And try to come up with some better ideas about, what the interest might be in your business. Okay? There might be people already doing yoga, right? That would you be interested in this added feature? Okay? If you know people that are doing that, right? Okay? Direct mail. If you know kind of what your customers, who your customers might be, you guys are going to have a relatively small customer base. Direct mail, email, things like that. Hey, would you be interested in this type of a service? And we can figure that out. Okay. Beer, everybody's interested in. You guys don't need to do a survey. Just kidding. Okay. How are you going to track your marketing successes or failures? Can you kind of build that in maybe, right? To see if some of these things are working or not. That's all today. I got more stuff on marketing, but I don't want to belabor you too long. I spend enough time talking. 20 minutes is as long as I can keep your attention anyhow. Jessica's about to fall asleep, so. Okay, so.
Is that PowerPoint on our thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yep. It's right on the front page, D2L, so you can kind of look at that. So, what I want you to do, and I meant to spend some time doing this, but make sure you look at the template, right? Page 7 is, I think, when marketing starts. And it gives you some other really good stuff, right? And it kind of sets it up, and so, look at all that. Okay, it really does a pretty nice job of kind of setting some of those things up. Some of the things I talked about were just kind of in addition or things that you add-ins maybe for that particular template. So, okay, take a look at that, and really what you want to do is start building your marketing plan right within that template. Okay, nothing wrong with doing that. So, any other questions? Okay, go to work. I'll come around to many of you, and we'll try to still finish up on your financials a little